Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brock Page, and if you want to save yourself some time, check out my picks for this video in the description section below. Once again, I'm not a sports betting expert, just a fan. I went 9-9 in tonight's action with the late game still in progress. That said, let's get into some picks for the 21st of January. Portland at Boston. Against the spread, I like Portland +8. On the total points, I like the under 220. And when it comes to the money line cash, I'm taking Boston, laying 350. Speaking of Boston, they've won an impressive 7 of their last 9, winning by an average of 7 points a game. On the other side, Portland's lost their last 4 straight, but have covered 100% of their games this season at or around the current spread. When it comes to the total points, both teams have gone under the line in 2 of their last 3. Once again, Portland +8, the under 220. Boston winning it outright, laying 350. Next game, Washington at Detroit. Against the spread, I like Washington +1.5, and 66% of the bettors agree. On the total points, I like the under 212, and when it comes to the money line cash, I'm taking Washington to win this one outright. Speaking of Washington, they've covered an impressive 75% of their games around the current spread and have covered in 4 straight. Washington has also won a remarkable 7 of their last 8 while covering the spread in their last 4 straight. On the other side, Detroit games have gone under the total posted points in 2 of their last 3. Once again, Washington Wizards +1.5, the under 212. Washington winning this one outright for some money line cash. Next game, Brooklyn at Charlotte. Against the spread, I like Brooklyn +13. On the total points, I like the under 221. And when it comes to the money line cash, I'm taking Charlotte to win this one outright. Charlotte's coming off 2 straight wins, impressively handling Toronto by 35 this evening. On the other side, Brooklyn's covered a solid 67% of their games at or around the current point spread. In addition, Brooklyn's covered the spread in their previous 2 matchups against Charlotte. Speaking of Charlotte, 4 of their last 5 games have gone under the total posted points. Once again, Brooklyn +13, the under 221. Charlotte winning it outright for some money line cash. Next game, Philadelphia at Atlanta. Against the spread, I like Philadelphia +10. On the total points, I like the over 199. And when it comes to the money line cash, I'm taking Atlanta, laying the 530. Atlanta's won an impressive 3 of their last 4 by an average of 7.5 points. On the other side, Philly's remarkably covered the spread in 9 of their last 10. When it comes to the total points, both teams are collectively averaging well over 199 points in their last 4 games. Once again, Philadelphia +10, the over 199. Atlanta winning it outright, laying 530. Next game, Milwaukee at Miami. Against the spread, I like Milwaukee +2. On the total points, I like the over 205. And when it comes to the money line cash, I'm taking Milwaukee to win this one outright. Miami's won just 2 of their last 6, covering the spread in only 3 of those games. They also covered just 33% of their games this season at the current point spread. On the other side, 4 out of Milwaukee's last 6 games have impressively gone over the total posted points. Once again, Milwaukee +2, the over 205. Milwaukee winning it outright for some money line cash. Next game, Phoenix at New York. Against the spread, I like the New York Knicks -5.5, and 73% of the bettors agree. On the total points, I like the under 220.5, and when it comes to the money line cash, I'm taking New York, laying the 230. The Knicks cover an impressive 75% of their games at the current spread, while going 9-3 against the spread as the official home favorite. On the other side, Phoenix has covered only 6 of 14 at the current spread in just 2 games out of their last 4. When it comes to the over-under, both teams have collectively averaged well under 220.5 in their last 4 respectively. Once again, New York -5.5, the under 220.5. New York laying 230. Next game, Houston at Memphis. Against the spread, I like Houston -1. On the total points, I like the under 217.5. And when it comes to the money line cash, I like the Houston Rockets laying 115. Houston's covered an absurd 71% on the road this year. They've also gone undefeated against the spread against teams allowing 99 to 102 a game. In the second game of a back-to-back, Houston's covered an impressive 73% of the time. When it comes to the total points, both teams collectively went under the line in 3 of their last 4. Once again, Houston -1, the under 217.5, Houston laying 115. Next game, Sacramento at Chicago. Against the spread, I like Sacramento +6.5. On the total points, I like the over 204. And when it comes to the money line cash, I like the Chicago Bulls laying 250. Against the spread, however, Chicago's covered just 5 of 15 games against teams winning less than 45%. On the other side, Sacramento's covered a solid 60% of their games at the current point spread. When it comes to the total, both teams are collectively averaging well over 204 combined points in their last 4 games. Once again, Sacramento +6.5, the over 204, Chicago laying 250. Next and final game, Indiana at Utah. Against the spread, I like Indiana +7. On the total points, I like the over 202.5. And when it comes to the money line cash, I like the Utah Jazz to win this one outright. Although Utah's won their last 5 straight outright, Indiana's covered an absurd 80% against teams giving up more than 99 points a game. When it comes to the line, both teams are collectively averaging well over the current total posted points. Once again, Indiana +7, the over 202.5, Utah outright. Well, folks, that's going to do it for me. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not an expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. If for some reason you decide to use the information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Predictions and Sports Picks, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.